Welcome to Yoga Stretch. My name is Katy. Today we're going to focus on increasing flexibility into our ankles. Often ankles get quite tight from exercises such as running, cycling, basketball, and those activities that tend to tighten up the shins. So we want to make sure we've got nice loose ankles, nice relaxed ankles and flexible ankles so we can carry out most activities in our daily life quite comfortably. So I'll talk a little bit more about that as we go through our exercises today. Okay, let's take a seat to start off with. And just placing the hands on the knees, lifting the rib cage up gently and lowering the shoulder blades down. Just shoulders away from ears. And we want to just bring our breath down to the bottom of our lungs, and we're going to count our breath today. So we're going to count to 3 as we breathe in and 3 as we breathe out. So counting just in your mind, I'll count the first round and you'll understand the pace. You can also speed it up or slow it down if you wish. So let's breathe in, 2, 3, and breathe out, 2, 3. Now let's lower the hands down, big breath in, open up your rib cage and breathe out. Lower the hands down, deep breath in again, and lower those hands down. And one more time, and place your hands on your knees. Let's draw circles, so let's breathe in and out as we circle. Make sure you're moving quite comfortably and easily. So try not to force your way through. And let's circle around the other direction. And let's draw one more circle. Stretching into our arms, clasping fingers, turn hands inside out and reach up. Now reaching up and lower the shoulder blades down. So you're really opening into the chest, really lengthening through the arms up to ceiling. You can gaze at the backs of your hands or just look forward if that's more comfortable for your head. Take 3 breaths here. And then lower your hands down. Let's lift them up again, place them on the backs of the head. Now you can stack your hands, or if your shoulders lift up too much, just bring your hands a bit wider. We're going to twist. So breathe in, lift the rib cage, draw the shoulders down and breathe out. Draw the waist in, rotate through the rib cage. Breathe in forwards and let's breathe out, twist around the other direction. Breathing in forwards. That's it. Breathe out to twist. And we've got one more. Breathe in forwards. And let's lower those hands down. And we've got cat-cow pose, so let's lift that rib cage up and breathe out. Now I want you to place your hands behind your head this time. Breathe in, draw the elbows back, open the chest. Breathe out, bring those elbows together, draw the navel in, round your back out. Breathe in, nice big open chest, and breathe out. Stretch the back. Let's try that again. Big breath in, and breathe out. And then lifting up. Let's change the cross of the legs. This time we're going to lift the arms up, breathe in, and then draw circles. If this is uncomfortable, go back to having your hands on your knees. Breathe in and breathe out. Let's do one more. It's quite strong with the arms extended. And let's go back the other way. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Let's try that one more time. hands up. Lower one hand down and reach the other one over. So you can bend your elbow and let the shoulders come away from ears. Now with the other hand, you can rest it on the floor or just lower your elbow down, making sure that your knees stay even. So if one knee lifts, then come up a little bit higher so you can keep those hips and knees quite even. Take 3 breaths around your rib cage. And let's lift up and go to the other side. Hand down, lift the arm up and over. You can have a nice long arm or just draw the shoulders down. Bend from the side, big stretch in the side. And of course you can come down to the elbow if that stretch suits you. Big breath into the side of the body. Let's take 2 more. And lifting up. Take your left hand on your right knee, right hand behind the back. Now lift the rib cage up nice and tall, shoulders draw down, then turn your head to look in front of your shoulder. Now let's breathe into the rib cage, nice deep breaths. Expand your breath out, your rib cage out with each breath. And let's twist around the other direction. So lift up nice and tall, draw your shoulders down, waist in, look in front of your shoulder. Let's breathe deeply. Just round the rib cage, really stretching into the back, the sides of the ribs, into the front. Expand them out as much as you can. And turn around, looking forwards. Now let's bring our hands forward on the floor. Draw the waist in, walk the hands forward, and rest the elbows on the floor. Bring the chin to chest. Start to breathe around your back. Fill up the back with air. And then let's lift up onto our hands. Beautiful. Now let's extend the legs forward. And let's give the legs a shake. Nice big shake. If you can, bring your hands behind your back and rest on the palms with fingers pointing forward. So we're going to do some ankle exercises. So bring the toes forward and point the toes towards the floor. Breathe in, breathe out. And we've got 2 to go. Now this time we're going to rotate those ankles, draw big circles. Try to draw really big circles if you can. And let's do 1 more. And let's rotate those ankles again, the other direction. Lifting up nice and tall. Let's take a deep breath in. Palms forward, breathe out. Lower the arms down, draw the waist in and lean forward. Your elbows should be bent. Keep a little bit of bend in your knees. Keep the knees soft. So if you're very flexible and the backs of the knees drop to floor, just lift them up a little. You can put a towel underneath to help lift them if you need to. You can hold your feet if you want to. If you're not feeling quite so stretchy at the beginning of your yoga today, then just lean forward a little bit more, but no need to go to the full stretch. Breathing into the belly and the lower back. Now walk the hands up the legs. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see what I'm doing. Taking the hands behind my knees and rolling myself down, walking the hands up my legs. I'm bringing my arms over the head, take a big stretch in, breathe in, lengthen through the body, point the toes towards the floor, reach the fingers to the opposite ends of the room, take a big breath into the rib cage. And then breathe out, lower the hands down to your sides and walk your feet to the end position. Let's lift those knees to chest, just one at a time. Lift the head up, drop chin to chest. Now, if you're happy to do some spinal rolls, join me. Otherwise, sit up and wait for me to join you. Okay, rolling and just tap those feet down. I'm just going to do 3 or 4. If this is not comfortable for you, no need to do them. Now, keep that chin to chest, and that will help your back to stay round. Beautiful. Now, on the last one, you can either just put your feet down, or you can challenge yourself a little bit more by ending up in boat pose. Now, if your legs feel too heavy, if you're working much too much in the hips at any time, lower your feet down or keep the hands behind the knees. But if you're okay, you can extend your arms forward, draw the shoulders down and the waist in. For some people, you can lift your legs up, extend the legs, but if you're going to work your hips too much, better to bend the knees. Let's take 3 breaths. Lower the feet down. Have them nice and wide as your mat. Place your hands on your knees. We've got another cat-cow pose. Breathe in, hug the shoulder blades together, lift the chin. Breathe out, draw the navel in and stretch around the shoulder blades. Drop your head down. Breathe in, open that chest up. And breathe out, draw the waist in. Okay, one more time. Big breath in. And breathe out. Draw that waist in. Beautiful. Let's lift up nice and tall. I'll turn and face you again. We're going to do a V pose. Stretch, so bring your toes forward. Now, if you're in this position, you can just place your hands behind your back, hold yourself up tall, point and flex. Point and flex. So let's do that another 2 times, stretching out the tops of our feet. Finish off your last one. Then lift up your rib cage. You can place your hands on your shins. Remember to keep those knees soft. Give them a little shake if you forget. And slide your hands down to your ankles. Now you might be able to hold the outer edge of your feet or the inside of your feet. That will just help you get forward a little bit more. Shoulders away from ears, waist drawn in. Now if you're one of those people that can lay on your front, please do. Okay. Let's take 3 breaths right down to the belly and into the back. Now let's walk the hands up the shins and bring the feet to butterfly pose. Now let's keep our legs extended so we can stretch the outer edge of the hips. So hands can go over the top of the feet, draw the navel in and lower your torso down. Now for some of you it may be quite comfortable lowering your head right down to your ankles or your heels. So just enjoy that stretch right around the outer edge of the hips and some stretch on the inside of the thighs. Now you can also do level 2 by sliding your hands under your calves, placing the hands over the tops of the feet and resting on your elbows. Just let the head drop down again. Breathing into the belly. Alright, let's walk our hands to hips and bring the heels a little bit closer, as now we want to stretch the inner thighs quite strongly. So you can hold your ankles or hold your feet. Draw the heels a little closer and let's lift our rib cage up and draw the shoulders down. You can lean forward if you wish. That will give you a bigger stretch in the inner thigh. If that's not so comfortable, just sit tall. Let's take 3 breaths down to the belly. Now lifting up, bring your knees together, tighten your waist, lean forward, coming to a forward bend. You can toe heel your feet a little bit apart so the heels are under the hips. Let's hold the elbows, chin to chest, let the upper body hang down. Now remember to keep your knees a little bit bent so you can make sure that you're stretching into your back. So if your legs are straight and locked, your knees locked, you will find it less easy to get into the spine. So we need to give that spine a nice big stretch. So let's just move the torso and elbows from side to side so we can do that. Breathe into your back. Okay, let's place the hands on the shins, pull the tummy in, squeeze the buttocks and stack your vertebrae up one at a time. Sliding your hands up your legs, lift your shoulders to ears, roll them back and down. Give yourselves a shake. Now we're going to just do some standing in our Tadasana or our mountain pose, which is a standing posture. Now try and have your ankles and the fronts of your feet together if you can. If that's uncomfortable or you're wobbly today, just bring your feet comfortably apart. Now let's lift the toes up, spread them out and lower the toes down. Try and press evenly through your feet. So you're looking to press through the base of the big toe, the base of the little toe and the heels. Now just lift your rib cage up, lift the crown of the head to the ceiling, squeezing the buttocks a little, nice firm waist, firming up the thighs. Kneecaps can lift a little, try not to lock those kneecaps. Now this is a wonderful position for ankle flexibility. So lifting up nice and tall, roll the shoulders back and down. Now let's stretch our fingers apart, reach them downwards. You can open or close your eyes and try to press evenly through your feet so you're very balanced. Take 3 big breaths. All right, let's take a deep breath in, sun salute. Reaching up, open the rib cage, breathe out, forward fold. Head of the knees bent, flat back, lengthen through the spine. And breathe out, forward fold. Let's take a deep breath in again, lifting up, sun salute. And breathe out, hands to sides. Let's do that again one more time. Deep breath in, sun salute. And swan dive, forward fold. Flat back, lengthen through the spine. And breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, sun salute. Let's lift up. And breathe out, hands to chest. Deep breath in and out. Okay, let's turn around sideways. All right, so bring your hands down by your sides. Back into our mountain pose. Lifting the rib cage up nice and tall. Lift shoulders to ears. Roll back and down, flat on the back, draw the waist in, crown of head to ceiling. Let's take a deep breath in, sun salute, and swan dive, forward fold. Breathe into flat back, lengthen through the spine and breathe out, forward fold. Now this time we're going to sweep our arms back, lift them up into chair pose and wide prayer. Bring the hands down to chest, draw the waist in and push your hips back. Press your knees together. Now we're going to roll our right foot forward, pull the tummy in, and now slide the heel forward, press the knees together. If you can, lift your foot up And let's take 3 breaths here. Now lower your foot down and slide your left foot back, ready for warrior 3. Draw the waist up, lift your foot up if you can. If you're nice and steady, keep lifting that leg to hip height, parallel to floor. Draw the shoulders down, keep the navel lifted. Try to point all 5 toes to the floor. Let's take 3 breaths here. Now remember to press evenly through your foot, through the base of the big toe, the base of the little toe, and the heel. Keep your foot as steady as you can. Lower the foot down, come back to chair pose, roll your right foot forward, cross it over the left, toes are on the floor, reach the arms forward and wrap your right arm around your left, hands on shoulders level 1, backs of hands level 2, palms together level 3. Now from here you can change your leg position, so foot comes to calf or wrap it around your next to your calf or wrap it around your calf. Now you can also lower your elbows down to your knees, draw your navel in. Let's breathe into the back, 3 breaths. Focus on pressing your foot firmly down and evenly down. Just try to keep the arch of the foot slightly lifted. Now let's lift up, unwrap the leg, come back into chair pose and then lift your arms up, breathe in, sun salute, reaching right up and breathe out, hands to chest in prayer. Deep breath in and out. Let's try that on the other side. Deep breath in, sun salute, and breathe out, hands to chest, draw the waist in, sit right back so the knees are behind the knees are behind the toes. This time, roll your left foot forward and slide the heel forward. Press those knees together. Waist nice and firm, buttocks firm. Lift your leg up. All right. Let's take 3 breaths here. Place your foot down. Slide your right foot back. Warrior 3. Draw the navel up, lift that foot up to hip height. Keep the shoulders away from ears, navel lifted. 5 toes point to the floor so we know our hips are straight and focus on balancing into your foot. Nice even pressure through the foot as much as you can. Let's take 3 breaths here. Now lower your foot down, place it next to the other, and this time rolling the left foot forward, cross it over the right, extend your arms forward, and this time your left arm wraps around the right. Bring the hands into the same position that you had them last time. Legs in the same position as last time. Bring your elbows towards your knees and the waist draws in. Let's take 3 breaths here. Then lifting up, let's unwrap that leg, take a deep breath in, sun salute, and breathe out, hands down to chest. Deep breath in and out. We're going going to do another sun salute and go down to the floor this time. So let's take a deep breath in, sun salute, and swan dive, forward fold. Breathe in, flat back, lengthen through the spine, and breathe out, forward fold. Step back into down dog. Since it's our first down dog, let's walk the heels up and down. Stretch into the ankles. Keep your head in line with your arms. Now lower the heels to floor, lift the navel up, and bring your chest towards your thighs, really lengthening through the arms. Slide shoulder blades to hips, so they're right away from the ears, and press with the base of the thumb and index finger firmly down, working the insides of the arms. Let's take 3 breaths into the rib cage, front and back. Now we're going to breathe in, come forward into plank, adjust your feet if you need to. Now squeeze your buttocks together, tail slightly between the legs, tummy tight. Press with the base of the thumb and index finger firmly down so the insides of the arms and the chest are working. Lower your rib cage slightly so shoulder blades are flat on the back. Look in front of your fingertips, don't let that head drop down. Take 3 breaths here. Now 8 limb pose. Lower the knees down. Keep your elbows tucked into the sides and lower your chest down. Now draw the navel up. Keep those hips lifted. Bring the chin and chest to floor. So this is a back arch. We won't stay here too long, but let's take 3 breaths. Now slide your waist to the floor. And let's slide the arms forward, coming into Sphinx. Now we want the elbows lined up with shoulders and the wrists lined up with elbows. So press your hips down into the mat or your pubic bone, squeeze your buttocks together, press tops of the feet into the floor, and you'll find your knees lift. Try not to lock your knees. Now let's open the chest so the shoulder blades flatten on the back and lift up the rib cage. Chin can be lifted to stretch the neck or just look forward comfortably. Pick the head position that most suits you. Now let's hold on to the mat, draw the elbows back and the chest forward. Can we find the stretch from the navel to the chest? Let's breathe there, right in the front of the body. Take 2 more breaths. And take your hand to your elbow. And let's bend that left knee. Place your other hand on the top of the foot. And I want you to keep your hips pressed down. Don't roll to your side. You're going to put too much load in your shoulder and your elbow. So make sure the hips are pressed down, buttocks is squeezed and pressing together. Bring the heel to the buttocks. Now this is quite strong. If it's too strong for you, release off. So find the pressure that you can manage. Okay, let's take 3 breaths here. Looking forwards. Breathe down to the belly and into the front of the body. Now press the hand like a bow, so shoulder blade draws down and hugs into the center, next to the spine. So we've got tension between the foot and the hand. Our buttocks should be squeezing, our arms should be stretching, shoulder blade working, and we should get a stretch in the front of our body again. Let's take 3 breaths here. Now lift up through the rib cage, don't sink down into your shoulder. Now release that foot, place your elbow down. Let's take the fingers to the other elbow. And lift your right foot up. Take your right hand on the foot and let's press that heel down to our buttocks. Try and keep your knees in line with your hips. Lift the rib cage up, try not to sag and sink down. We want to lift up the rib cage and look forward. Squeeze the buttocks together. 3 breaths here. And now we're going to push the top of the foot in the hand, shoulder blades slide downwards and inwards. Squeezing the buttocks together, lifting the rib cage up, hips evenly on the floor, and let's take 3 breaths here. And then release the foot. Place the hands under the chest. Make sure you glue the elbows to your rib cage. We've got a cobra. Breathe in, draw the shoulders downwards and the torso upwards. And lift up, going to child's pose. So we're going to bring the toes together, knees a little wider than hips. You can extend the arms forward if you wish, with the elbows lifted. Draw the navel up, tuck tail between the legs, so little hip, bottom of the hip movement forward. And let's breathe into the back, and particularly the lower back. So we've been arching into the back, so now we want to stretch it out with our breath. Elbows lifted or elbows on the floor, just find something that you enjoy. Now walking hands back to knees, and we're going to work into those ankles again because we do want to encourage flexibility. So now we've been in child's pose and you've been sitting on your heels. If you couldn't quite get your hips onto your heels, that's okay. In this position, maybe uncomfortable for you then. You can lift up and just stay here if you want to. You can also put a bolster or a rolled up mat or something else at the back of your knee so you can sit down a little lower onto the bolster or the rolled up mat. Otherwise you can sit on your heels with me. Now we're going to rock forwards and backwards. So lifting the knees up, stretching the tops of those feet, then rocking forward and lifting the feet up. So let's do that a few more times. This is wonderful for your ankle flexibility. So we need to continue to work gently into the ankles. And then let's bring our hands back and the knees lifted. Now, if you can stay in this position, tighten your tummy, lean forward a little, and let's just place the hands on the knees. Shoulders stay down, waist draws in. That's it, lovely. Let's try 3 breaths here. Now lower your knees down, hands on the mat. Let's lift the feet up and just move them in any direction that's comfortable for you. Now lower your feet down. Tuck the toes under, lift the hips. Come into down dog. Just moving from side to side, let's keep nice and loose. And then step the feet together. We're going to do some standing strength. So lift your right leg up, 3-leg dog. Squeeze your buttocks firmly together. Bring your chest towards your thighs. Shoulders towards hips and press the base of the thumb and index finger firmly down. You can join me in scorpion if you wish. So level 1, bend the knee, keep gazing at the toes. Level 2, lift the knee up, the hip and the knee up to the ceiling, look under your arm. Weight stays even through the hands. Take 3 breaths here. Now lunge your foot between your hands. Now just check that your back foot is a hip width apart and the toes are pointing forward. Once you've found that good, comfortable, steady position, sweep your arms back and lift up. Roll the shoulders back and down. Try to reach your arms up to the ceiling. Stretch your fingers out. Now, by continually reaching your arms up, you're lengthening your muscles. But if they're a little tight, you can bend your elbows, place your hands at chest in prayer, or perhaps even on your hips. Take 2 more breaths. Now, breathing in and breathe out. Lift elbow to knee, palm up, close it into a fist, and take your right hand on your hip. Squeeze your buttocks together, draw the shoulders right away from the ears towards the hips, and try and have a nice straight line from your shoulder to your hip to your ankle. Let's take 3 breaths here. Right down to the belly. Now, if you struggle to breathe down to your belly, breathe into your back instead. Reach your right hand to the ceiling, left hand to floor, windmill them into reverse warrior 2. Let's take 3 breaths here. Then take your right arm behind your back and lift your left hand up, and let's rotate the hips to face forward. Reverse proud warrior. Now, you can keep that arm lined up with your nose. You can just look forward at your arm, or lift your gaze up to your palm if your balance is good. Take 3 breaths into your belly. Then let's windmill our arms up and over, down dog. Moving from side to side, let's stretch. Just loosen the body up again and step your feet together. Lift your left leg up, 3-leg dog. Squeeze your buttocks firmly, shoulders towards your hips. Pull that tummy up. Chest towards thighs, 3 breaths. And then lunge your foot between your hands. Make sure your feet are hip width apart, just have a look. Toes point forward. Sweep the arms back and let's lift them up. Roll the shoulders back and down, reach the arms up. Push through your back heel, but try not to lock your back knee. Keep a little softness in it. Now 3 breaths into the belly. Now breathe in, elbow to knee, bring the other hand behind the back, close your hand into a fist, draw the shoulders down, waist draws in, and we're looking sideways. Let's take 3 breaths down to the belly or into the back. Then reach your left arm up and the other hand down. Windmill your arms into a T position, into your warrior 2, reverse warrior 2. Always a little bit more challenging than our normal positions. Breathe down to the belly. One more deep breath. And take your left arm behind your back. Rotate your right palm, lift it up, make sure those hips are facing forward. Arm lined up with your nose, the center of your chest. You can gaze up and look at your palm. Take 3 breaths down to the belly. And let's bring those arms up and down to the floor. Front foot back into down dog. Just moving from side to side. Take a little stretch in your back as you rock. And then rise up on the balls of the feet, come down to knees. And child's pose. All right, let's lift up now onto our knees. And we're going to come into a frog pose. So to do that, we're going to bring our toes together. This is a little bit like a child's pose, but we're going to have the knees wider. So normally we have them just a little wider than the hips. Now we're going to have them very wide. If you have a bolster, you can put it behind your legs if you find this terribly uncomfortable. And then let's place the hands down. We're going to walk those hands forward. If you can, bring your chest to the floor and your chin. Otherwise, tuck your chin and forehead down, and let's stretch through the arms. So we should be feeling a big stretch through the inner thigh. It's quite strong. So let's breathe into the belly and the lower back and see if we can settle those muscles down. Nice big breaths. Feel your waist expand, your back expand, and take one more breath. Lower your elbows down, come onto elbows. Now we're going to go into our foot throw position. So let's bring the foot out to the side. So let's bring the foot out and the toes come forward. So the heel should be wider than the knee. Let's try the other side, toes forward, heel wider than the knee. Now place those elbows under your shoulders, flatten your back. Try not to arch in your back and look between your legs. Make sure that back stays nice and flat, mid-back down, tummy lifted, look between your fists. Walk your elbows back and you should find a stretch in the groin, right on the inside of the hip. Now when you've found it, take 3 breaths here. It's quite strong. Right into the belly. Now if you find that your hips have settled a little, take 2 more breaths. Now lean forward, take the pressure out of the knees, bring the toes together and walk the hands back to hips. Now we're going to bring those knees together and work into our ankles again. So tucking those toes under, lift up into a squat, but keep your feet and your knees together. Tummy nice and firm now. You can lift your arms up, give your knees a hug, stay on your toes. So you need to balance. If it's more comfortable to have hands on hips, try that. Press those thighs together. Now let's place the hands on the floor. Bring one leg out to the side. So you can rest on that knee for a moment and stretch into one foot only. Hands can be on the floor if you feel you're a little bit wobbly. Let's change sides. Come up onto the toes and this foot goes down. That's it, let's find our balance. Nice. Now we can do a crow walk from here. Strong on knees, so make sure your feet and your knees can manage. So one hand on each knee, and now we're going to walk a few steps forward. And see if you can walk back or you can walk in a circle. So I'll go down the mat, that's better. A little bit more grip on the mat and then turn around and walk up the other direction. All right, now let's bring both heels down. Now have your heels as wide as your hips. Bring your hands together, lift the rib cage up, shoulders draw down, waist draws in. Elbows inside the knees, give them a little push so the wrists are in line with elbows. Now this might feel quite gentle after the frog pose, especially the inner thigh stretch. Let's breathe here. And let's take a seat. Extend your legs forward, give them a shake, make them feel nice and comfy. And then we're going to bring one ankle onto the knee, hold the foot with the hand, hold the knee with the other. Lift it up and we're going to move it from side to side. Now if you find that you can manage to put your foot in the bend of the elbow and the other arm around the knee, linking the fingers and hands on the shin, lift up through the rib cage, tummy in, and let's do the movement in a stronger position. So this is our level 2 position. Stay with level 1 if that suits you better. Now cross your leg over the other one. Line the knees up, bring the toes forward. Let's lift the hips, pull the tummy in, lean a little forward. Now we're going to do a cow face pose. So level 1, bend the elbow, hand behind the back. Level 2, take the hand, the other arm behind, link your fingers. Lift the elbow to the ceiling, draw the waist in, and we're going to bend forward. So chin to chest, lengthen through the back of the neck, and we should feel a nice stretch in the back of our knee, of the extended leg, perhaps even tingling in the toes and in the hip as we activate our sciatic nerve. Take 3 breaths here. And lifting up. Let's try that on the other side. Release those hands. And ankle on the knee. Hold the foot with one hand, knee with the other, or you're going to bring the foot in the bent elbow. Lifting up nice and tall, tummy in, and let's move our hip from side to side. Okay, let's line those knees up. Lift the hips, tummy in, toes are forward. This time we're lifting our right arm up for the cow face pose, level 1. Level 2, other arm comes behind the back. See if we can link the fingers. And then breathe in, lift up, breathe out, bend forward. Now you can hold a towel between your hands if they don't quite reach, or just rest them on your back. Chin to chest, lengthen through the back of the neck. Let's take 3 breaths in. And then lifting up again. All right, and lower the arms down. Let's give the legs a shake. And bring one foot to the thigh. And bring the toes forward of the other one. Now I want you to cross your wrists, draw your waist in, and just slide your hands down your legs. You can hold your foot. So if you can hold it on. Take a walk up the leg with the hands, and let's extend the other leg, foot to thigh. Lift the hips up, tummy in, lean forward a little to get that extra length through the spine. Now this time we're going to change the cross of our wrists. Draw the waist in and slide your hands down to your calves, your ankles, or the outer edge of your feet. Draw the shoulder blades towards hips, navel up, tuck your chin in, bring your head to your knee. Breathe down to your belly. Try to expand the hips out with your breath. Take 3 more breaths. Now slide your hands up your legs. And we're going to bring ourselves sideways. Take the hands behind the knees. We're going to lift our rib cage up and roll down. Just walking our hands up the backs of our legs. Taking a lie down, let's press the elbows in the floor, hug the shoulder blades together and flatten the back down. Let's walk the feet to the end position, and you can walk your feet as wide as the mat and drop the knees in together, or you can bring your feet into butterfly pose and drop the knees out wide. So just place the hands, the left hand on the heart center, right hand on the belly. Make sure that back is nice and flat, chest is nicely opened. Let's take 4 or 5 breaths in this position. Now let's bring the knees together and extend the legs along the mat. Let's drop the feet and the thighs outwards, so really relax outwards to rest, relax into your hips. Backs of hands on the floor, make sure the shoulder blades are nice and flat, palms up and fingers gently curled. Lengthen through the back of the neck. Let's breathe down to the belly. Now you can stay in this comfortable, relaxing position and turn the video off for several minutes, however long you would like to relax. And then join me in finishing off. So let's move our fingers and toes and bring the breath down to the belly. Then walk your feet to the end position and roll to the side. Take 2 or 3 breaths here. And lift up to a seated position. Resting hands on the knees or in the lap. Let's lower the hands down, lift them above the head in prayer. Lift your ribcage up and breathe out. Hands down to chest and thumbs to heart center. Let's bring our breath down to our belly, into our ribs, up into shoulders and back, and breathe out. Take another deep yoga breath, starting in the belly, moving up to the rib cage, into shoulders and back, and breathe out. Take one more deep breath in at your own pace. Have a peaceful heart and a peaceful mind and a wonderful day. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. If you enjoyed this video, press like and make a comment. Otherwise, subscribe to my video by pressing subscribe now. Then you'll get regular updates. Thank you for joining me.